Oh god, is it actually
Don't tell
December?
me.
No, it's July. It's only been a month. We can't miss too much time between meeting him and meeting him again.
Right?
No news of my father came forth the other day. Somber restlessness took hold of me. Originally, it seemed Hijikata granted me approval to accompany the captains on their rounds through Kyoto to search for my dad, and then he called me in, and apparently that wasn't happening.
Excuse me.
Okita and Heisuke had been summoned along with me, and I felt a partial sense of relief. It did a little to calm my chattering nerves, and I didn't want to be in a bad spot with Hijikata.
You called me?
Hijikata seemed to be in a foul mood, so I decided it was best to act with tact in his presence. Do we not normally do that?
お前の行動さん探しの件だがな。しばらく様子を見ようと思う。
But why?
We just started looking for him. What the fuck? Stopping now would surely cause any of our leads to run dry. His words stunned me. How could he back out on this? Hijikata remained deeply composed.
長州の連中が不穏な動きを見せている。本来ならお前を外に出せる時期じゃない。
Why is he always so fucking quiet, though? Like, just the quietest. This is already almost at max. Good grief. I'd heard how the warriors of the Choshu domain associate with the Imperial Nationalist Party. God, words. For some reason, they find foreigners repulsive, using brute force to prevent any foreign presence. All of their faith is aligned with the Emperor. The Shinsengumi, on the other hand, serve the Shogun, meaning they are directly opposed. If the Choshu is active, it could mean that my own goal is of little concern to the Shinsengumi. Might become something of a burden to them.
So, are you asking me to refrain from joining the rounds until things with the Choshu domain settle?
Hijikata nodded and turned towards the two men.
というわけで、今日からこいつを巡察に連れて行くのは取りやめだ。
Rude.
なるほどね。だから当番の俺らが呼ばれたってわけか。
God, he got so quiet. Heisuke seemed 2 steps behind Hijikata's words until this very moment where it seemed to click.
Just call him stupid.
Dang. Our poor boy.
そうそう。僕たちに何かあっても関わらないようにしてくれればそれでいいし、どさくさに紛れて逃げ出すこともないし。ね。
I won't run.
I knew he wasn't being serious, but I couldn't stand to keep my mouth shut. I hate him.
I made up my mind the minute the men of the Shinsengumi agreed to help me find my father. I made a vow never to run from the Shinsengumi for as long as they help me find my father.
My desire to find my father showed no signs of slowing, even since I first arrived in Kyoto.
I will keep my vow. So please allow me to continue looking for my father.
I bowed to Okita. Not that one, though. I bowed to everyone else, keeping my eyes locked with everybody else. That bitch's smirk, however, slowly shrunk as he gazed towards me, caught in between words to say, Idiot.
危険を承知でついてくるって言うなら、僕の一番組に同行してくれて構わないよ。それに、行動さんらしい人を見たっていう証言もあるしね。
確かにそういう証言もある。だが、危険だと分かってるところにミスミス出すこともねえだろう。
I die like a man.
分かってるのか？お前らの足を引っ張りかねねえんだぞ。
I promise I won't cause any trouble. Please, if I lose the opportunity to search for my father, then the chances of finding him will sink. Like the Titanic.
I lied prostrate before him. Hijikata just fucking sighed at me.
市中を巡察する組長の指示には必ず従え。いいな。
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
I didn't know how else to show my gratitude, so I just bowed again.
行くか行かないかはお前が好きに判断しろ。
Okay.
Had to make sure this was the best decision. There was something in his demeanor that made me unsure of my desire to leave the compound. Still, if I was with Okita or Heisuke, I'm sure I'd be safe and well protected with Heisuke. On the other hand, my presence could be an undue burden.
To Heisuke.
What do? I forgot to pull up the guide. What do you want, my dude? What chapter are we in?
Remaining in the compound.
You're right.
I'm so smart.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Anyways, I thought about it, and I guess I'm staying here. Couldn't convince myself that I wouldn't be a burden to them during dangerous situations, and I would hate to burden Heisuke. Still, it was disheartening to think about.
Another dull day spent inside.
Throughout the past 6 months, I was allowed to finally search for my father on the rounds.
Jesus.
Felt like a part of the house by contributing. Even though sometimes I was occupied with cleaning or cooking, it seemed like I was serving my part to the Shinsengumi in a meaningful way. Spend most of my time with the captains, but there are many opportunities to chat with the warriors and come to know them as real people. Whoa. Maybe they were starting to think of me as a warrior in training rather than Hijikato's page. They probably don't think much of me either way, let's be real. These worrying thoughts made me so anxious I was turning numb. The idea that I had become so dependent on the Shinsengumi at this moment.
So numb. What should I do today?
I was resigned to the consequences of my decision, something that felt like I was wasting away the tender moments of my life in these headquarters. I was, in short, with nothing to do.
Yosh.
I decided to enter the inner courtyard, where maybe I could feel a pleasant breeze tingle my face in the shade. Acquaintance may calm me down.
Kso.
Alas, no fucking winds blew through this courtyard today. No reprieve from the harsh sun bearing down upon this dry emptiness.
Oh. Because I got blinded by the sun.
God damn it. Had a feeling this was gonna be a bad day, stupid bright ass sun. Shade is the best that I could get, it seems. Sighed, sitting in whatever shade I could find. Something occurred to me as the sun roasted Kyoto.
Oh, Tim! Sorry. Wow, that's crazy. My father's been here before. That's like crazy.
What just happened?
I was gonna try and translate it to Japanese.
Rip. They'd mentioned it, but they hadn't told me why. Was he tending to the injured? Perhaps educating Shinsengumi on how to not get a cold?
Maybe he intended to stay here long term.
I wonder if that car was loud enough to drown you out. My father never mentioned to have been with the Shinsengumi, because that makes sense. He'd visited only a few times or so, I'd been told. If he'd really been their doctor, he would have visited way more often, which left me the question, why?
Hey.
It was extremely clear to me the Shinsengumi had plenty of secrets. I grew suspicious that these secrets deeply implicated my father as well.
No, that can't be right. Can it?
Unless... I shook my head again, trying my best to dispel the dark thoughts taking shape.
何がまさかな
Oh
んですか
no. Literally anyone else. Literally anyone else. Please, for the love of God.
Oh, Jesus.
Ah! Spun around to find that Sanan had walked behind me, utterly undetected and unannounced and unwelcome.
Oh, You. Is it alright for you to be walking around?
私が寝たきりの病人か何かの
Maybe
よ
you
うな言い
should
方は
be.
よしてください。
Nothing
You're sure
wrong
acting
with
that way.
Nothing wrong with you, my ass. There's a hint of bullshit to his words.
もっとも左腕は寝たきりですがね。
Yeah, huh?
I would like to go now. His arm is broken, and he is broken, and I would like to go. The rest of the captains sure seemed that he would never be able to use his arm again.
君こそ部屋を出ていていいんですか？豚舎内を勝手に動き回られては困ります。
Yeah, sorry, dude.
They usually let me walk around as I please, so long as I don't go into anyone's room. But, like, I guess technically I'm confined to my room if you're an asshole. Any freedom given to me is simply a courtesy. In other words, Sanon's an asshole. If he decides to chastise me for being in the fucking courtyard, I guess I can't fucking argue.
Just beat him up. There were things. Some things.
Things, you know, those.
That I wanted to think about.
Maybe if we out-weird him, he'll leave.
I hoped the courtyard would be breeze.
The moment the words were out of my mouth, I realized they sound insane.
我々の監視から逃れて一人とは何か企んでいる
I'm literally out in the
みたいですよ。
open.
Takes one to know one, bitch.
I'm sorry.
Still, I'm beginning to grow accustomed to this bullshit from Sanon's fucking face. I'd like to shut it up.
All right. I'm going back to my room then.
I turned and walked away. Sanon's unpleasantness had started ever since he was born, I think. And it will only get worse. Now, he just spends all his time in his room and he's become a little piece of shit. Knew the loss of his arm sucked, but like, come on, man. Fuck off. Turned around to see him still standing there like a fucking doofy.
It's like really hot outside. You should try and stay out of the sun. Please. Take care of
Police! Where are the police?
I think this is the right tactic to take.
Exactly.
We're really spooking him.
Right? I'm more comfortable now. Gave him a nervous little laugh. And he responded with a nervous laugh of his own. His smile didn't look forced.
Fucking loser.
ありがとうございます。君も体調には気をつけてくださいね。
Didn't need you to tell me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what she said. The Sanon I'd first met is still there. He's a dick. Spirits lifted, and I ran back to my room as fast as humanly possible.
Amen. To the church, the Lord, and the Holy Spirit.
It was later that evening that the compound exploded with activity. I was walking down the hall when I heard footsteps and turned to see Nagakura coming towards me.
Nagakura.
We'll find out if that got picked up by the mic.
Nagakura! What? I'm sorry. What's that for?
You just emulate everybody that we fucking run into. He glanced down almost absently at his hands, holding a candle and an exceptionally long needle.
長州の患者を捕まえたんだけどよ。なかなか口を割らねえらしいんだ。
So we're giving him acupuncture?
The best part about that is I don't know if you actually grasped what was going on here or you're just genuinely not.
We're giving him acupuncture?
土方さんが直々に相手をすることになったんだが、道具が足りないって言うから持ってくところよ。
A
Yes.
needle and a candle. We're giving him acupuncture.
Acupuncture. Mhm,
What else would we
totally.
give him? Are we gonna stab his eyeballs? I literally don't understand.
と。
He's not gonna tell you.
But you
若
are.
い方が幸せだって。
It's torture, ding dong.
but how are you gonna do that with a candle and needle?
Apparently, you will do it with acupuncture. He gave another bark of laughter and turned his back on me and walked away.
Hark, hark, hark.
And that's all that happened, apparently. As the sun began to set, the activity in the compound reached a fever pitch.
Hee hee.
It was so busy I couldn't even help with making dinner. Commotion was overwhelming. Does that mean dinner didn't get done, or...?
My homie Hayskip.
He shot past my door and then wheeled back around.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. What happened though? All these dudes are going crazy right now. Any word from that Choshu prisoner?
ああ、あいつがようやく口を割ってさ、
Like his arm?
今夜長州の奴らが会合するらしいんだ。で、俺らは討ち入り準備中ってわけ。
Congratulations!
Congratulations.
Congratulations!
Congratulations. Heisuke went on to explain that the Shinsengumi would be splitting into two groups and searching locations at opposite ends of the city. Kondo would take 10 men to the Ikeda Inn, and Hijikata would take 24 to the Shikoku Inn. Wow, one of these teams is a lot less fucking...
土方さんたちの行く四国屋が当たりっぽいよ。
I mean, I do, I just don't remember the teams being so uneven.
Yeah. That was the whole plot point.
They'd send more men with Hijikata because they thought he'd be seeing action. Oh, right. Kondo and his men were... Are you acupuncturing me? Is that what's happening here? You see. Because we'd be seeing action. Yep, totally, 100%. Kondo and his men were to make sure that they covered all their bases.
You mean there aren't even 40 men ready? Wow.
Amateurs.
肝心な時に暑さで腹を壊す奴らが多くて困ってるんだよ。
I told you guys to watch out for the flu, you know? Stay warm.
I'd known that the heat in close quarters made some men sick.
I mean,
But
stay
wow, y'all are
cool.
weak. Heisuke sighed.
会津藩や諸次第にも連絡入れたんだけど、動いてくれる気配がないんだよ。
Did you even drink water? Sounds like you've got your work cut out for you.
I love how this version of us is just super condescending all the fucking time. Unfortunately, there wasn't much I could offer him apart from sympathy. That's all I got, man. I have a feeling it's gonna be a difficult night. After all the men capable of fighting had left for their respective assignments, Sanan called for me, because he's not capable of fighting or doing
もちろん
anything.
名目上のことですが、私は局長から屯所の守護を仕切るよう仰せつかりました。
I'm not the compound. Please leave me alone.
Sanan's passive-aggressive attitude reared his fucking head.
手薄になった新選組の屯所が何者かに狙われないとも限りません。君は私の目が届く範囲にいてください。非常時には適宜私から指示を出します。
Yes, sir.
I hesitated a moment and then spoke.
So, like, you're gonna protect me?
I wasn't sure why, but he laughed at that. But I am sure why, and I laughed at it too.
それで寝込んでいる大使よりは私の方がまだ使い物になりますから。
Am I supposed to be fucking happy about this? I hate this. I would like to go. This is apparently hurting him most when the other men are out fighting and all he could do is wait. The silence between us stretched out until the door to our room suddenly opened without a sound.
三男総長、奴らの会合場所が池田屋と判明いたしました。
The Ikeda Inn?
ああ、それは困りましたね。新選組は意外と賭け事に弱いのかもしれません。
His tone was light. Was it? His face is serious, though. They'd been certain Shikoku was the right location and had only sent half as many men to Ikeda.
山崎君、一つ面倒を頼まれてくれますか。
The man whom he'd called Yamazaki nodded curtly. He's a Shinsengumi officer and spy, as well as a member of the Watch. Despite not living in the Yagi residence, he's aware of my situation. Why? Why was he let in on this?
まず
This is
敵
Naruto.
の所在は池田屋である
That's not a good enough reason.
土方君に伝えてください。そして大変お手数なのですが、その伝令にはその子も同行させてほしい。
I'm no child.
Wait a minute.
Yamazaki seemed just as surprised. Boy, he is not into this idea. I paused before thinking about what's next. Why me?
Why me? I feel like if I were to go, I'd like be a little useless, you know?
Why did he choose me? I can't stand the thought of getting in someone's way, being the reason something bad happens.
足手まといといえども、
Thank you.
人数には変わりませんよ。
Sanan responded while giving me some cold bullshit.
伝令に向かう途中、他の老師に足止めされるかもしれません。それ以外にも長州側の遠兵が存在する可能性もあります。もし伝令の道中に敵と遭遇したのなら、土方君との合流も遅れてしまうでしょう。
Sanan finished with the soft smile that I haven't seen him use for weeks.
私の
Do you finally feel useful, Sanan?
はい。自分が長州遠兵の足止めを行い、最悪は彼女だけでも
Oops.
I'm sorry?
It sounds like they're suggesting that if things go badly, Yamazaki's gonna fucking die.
もちろん山崎君が失敗するとは思っていませんよ。我々には人手が足りず、君には仕事が多い。会津藩や諸師団への連絡も担ってもらわねばなりませんから。
That would have Yamazaki running all across Kyoto. Suppose it really drove home just how thin the Shinsengumi was stretched.
And there's like no one else that could do this job. Like Shimada?
Shimada's another Shinsengumi spy who's trusted enough with knowledge of my situation. Wow, everybody knows about this. Sanan shook his head. Shinsengumi needs every member that they can get. Shimada was with the Shikoku team. Which means that apart from Yamazaki, I'm literally the only person who's not entirely useless at
That's
the
okay.
moment.
He wasn't important enough to be on the list.
Right.
確か雪村君だったな。誤信程度の術なら身につけている。
I know how to hold a sword. Yep.
残念ながら君の安全は保証できない。それで構わないというのであれば、俺。
If I tried to run away while we were out, I had no doubt that he would kill me without hesitation. This mission is his priority, not my life. Even so.
I got you, bro. I got you. Don't even worry about me. I'm like super brolic.
Sanan gave me a small smile. Knew he wanted to join the battle more than anyone, but we both knew that he's fucking useless.
I bet
now.
I could do more push-ups than the military commander right there.
The man with one arm.
Yeah, that's my point.
I have a feeling that he actually could probably do more push-ups than us. We're a string bean. We can barely hold our sword.
Yeah. But that was the joke.
But I can at least carry out my mission.
では総長命令しかと承りました。
He bowed then as he stepped out of the room and turned to me.
全力で俺についてこい。
What?
I'm good at running. Not really.
I took off after him, my legs working as hard as they could. Into the dark street we ran. I discovered quickly that half a year indoors, yeah, I'm not good at this. After only a few blocks, I gotta go. Yamazaki, who's running ahead of me, suddenly stopped and looked sharply behind us.
何があってもこの通りを走り抜けろ。後ろを振り向く必要はない。
Tell me someone's behind us.
君は知らなくてもいい。
Seems like I was right. What should I tell him? You should go.
I'll stay behind. You go.
バカなことを言うな。君がここに残って何ができる？
Let's distract the enemies and you go. Meantime,
引きつける役ならば俺がやる。君は走れ。
Yamazaki wasn't looking to take no for an answer, so I nodded in good faith. I looked to what lay ahead for me. More running.
Whoa.
Oof. As I stepped into the next intersection, I saw a flash of metal from the corner of my eye. Uh-oh, I die now.
君は惑うな。じきに合流できる。白の大福を目指してこのまま走れ。
Okay.
I kept running. I pretended I didn't hear the sounds of swords ringing against one another behind me and ran. My knees felt weak and my legs sweaty, arms spaghetti. But I kept going. They'd have to collapse or tear themselves to pieces before I'd stop. Even so, I felt really slow and I wanted to cry out and scream at my body like, yo, we gotta go faster, dog.
Oh.
And then a bright light suddenly cut through the darkness and I'm blind now. And my heart stopped. Uh-oh, did I just have a heart attack and die? I froze.
何やってんだてめえは。
I very nearly began to cry. Hijikata was not dressed in the usual light blue jacket, but rather a bright white uniform to be seen in dimly lit places.
God, his jacket was that fucking bright.
So bright that we thought we died. Instead, I simply collapsed as Haruta reached out to grab me.
大丈夫か。
Do I look okay?
から出てると土方さんに怒られるぞ。
I grabbed hold of Haruta's hand and pulled my body to his feet. I wanted to tell him that I had permission to leave and explain that it was all right for me to be there, but also I was really winded and boy, speaking is hard. Besides, I wasn't sent to Hijikata to make excuses. I took as deep of a breath as my shuttered lungs could manage before speaking.
They're meaning that he could,
Suddenly, Hijikata's expression changed, possibly because I'm about to fall over and die.
おめえはあっちか。
I just said that.
I nodded. Yep.
敵の会合場所は
Oh, hey!
池田にある。
Hijikata gestured towards me.
三男さんなら脱走を見過ごさねえ。
Well,
こいつは早朝命令で
A little
交渉出たってことだ。
よく俺らと合流できたな。今日の地理には詳しくないんだろう。
you know, someone had to die to get me here.
Yeah, you know, Yamazaki, I mean...
I finally got some of my breath back and then lost it again, but I did my best to tell them what happened.
合図や諸次第はどうなった？もう池田屋に行ってるのか？
Nope. Hijikata thought for a moment and then spoke.
斎藤と原田は隊を率いて池田屋へ向かえ。俺はよそで別件を処理しておく。
Harada and Saito nodded curtly, then turned to their business.
あんたもこれ以上の単独
Oh, am I your business?
俺たちが副長かどちらかに同行しろ。
You got it. Still lacked the breath to respond properly, so I simply nodded. We both knew they couldn't leave me here, but like, who should I go with? As fast as we could manage, we ran through the silent streets of Kyoto toward the Ikeda Inn. We were nearly a block away when we heard the first cries of men engaged in battle. None of the Shinsengumi remained outside, but I heard a voice ring out from inside that sounded much like Kondo's.
俺は正面から突入する。
Oh, we're going in the front, huh?
わかった。俺は裏に回るぜ。
What?
You're telling me to verify my shipping address. There was nothing I could do. I did that.
Make sure it's not a spam or a scam then. There's been a lot of scams going on around lately.
There's been a lot of Instagram hackings. It's really funny.
God. They gave each other a curt nod and then turned to lead their men. Couldn't stand there by myself. That would be awkward. I decided to follow my boy.
Wow! First time.
Bye, Harada. Well, yeah, because we've only done 2 other routes. Well, 2.5. And no one else was in this area.
It feels like we've done this millions of times.
We lived here forever. There's no escape. I watched Harada and his men as they turned around and ran towards the back of the inn, and then I turned to Saito.
Can I come with you, Saito-san?
That's senpai to you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He glanced back at me and then quickly turned away. Embarrassment.
俺の前に出る。戦うのを守る。邪魔なだけだ。
Oh, thanks.
He was even colder than usual.
What a tsundere.
And I'm suddenly super into that.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Perhaps it's like just best for me to just be right behind him and like be quiet and just like not even exist. Oh my
あ
god.
んたの離れての目覚めが悪い。
Oh,
俺の仕事はあんたを守ることじゃない。
He sounded annoyed, but it didn't seem like it was with me.
well.
He looked towards the inn, his eyes narrowed.
突入する。各自俺に続け。
Oh wait, are there other people here? Boy, that's not right. And then we charged into the Ikeda Inn.
It'd be funny if he was just talking to everyone. We thought it was just for us. Oh my god!
Oh no. Warm coppery stench of blood hit me like a fist to the stomach. Uh-oh.
Oh, oh, oh!
Oh, you're right. That's right. We're doing random voices too. With a single blow, Saito dispatched a man near the door, and his pace barely slowed.
I love men who can kill.
斎藤君来てくれたか。これは心強い援軍だな。
Kondo gave a grin as he spoke, and then turned to split a Ronin on his sword. Whoa. With his free hand, he gestured at us to stay back.
俺は大丈夫だ。2階の掃除を見てやってくれ。
Oh, shit.
よう、斎藤。残念だったな。美味しいとこはもらっちまったぜ。
今日は譲ってやる。
Nagakura came out from the back and he hung his exposed sword out and laughed in his usual way. Maybe he had an intense battle. There was blood all over his uniform and it seemed like his left hand was dripping with blood too.
You're like her.
知り合いだからな。そりゃ怪我もするさ。中庭に倒れてる平助なんざ。ひでえもんだ。
No!
Yeah,
Don't say
remember?
that.
Remember,
Don't say
that's what's upstairs.
That's like not even funny.
Nagakura grinned at me as Saito began barking orders to his men.
この池田屋から誰一人逃がすな。手加減無用。手向かいする者は全て切れ。
Saito let our injured evacuate. His voice is steel, and the grimace on his face betrayed his emotions.
Oh my god.
He has emotions. That was when I finally understood. It wasn't anger I saw in him. It was concern. He was worried for the men of the Shinsengumi. The frustration of not being able to fight with them, of like not being at their side.
Wow.
That's why he's been in such a hurry.
怪我人の救護はできるか。あんたは医者の娘だろ。
Awkward. I mean, yeah, I can.
The words were out of my mouth before I realized that they probably needed something of a disclaimer because I'm literally not a doctor, guys.
Well, I mean, I can like, you know, do the basics, like put a band-aid on.
I can throw some alcohol on there.
それで十分だ。
No!
Oh, thank you.
Oh no, we're gonna get a lot of people killed. To me, it only seemed natural to care about one's friends, but I'd always seen Saito as a robot. He hadn't struck me as the sort to like care for anyone, so I'd never have even guessed that he would have emotions. The truth is that he's a human being and he has fucking emotions, y'all. As I watched him dive into battle, his sort of light of hope for his comrades in arms, wondered how I could have ever thought so. An idiot.
And the battle
then
ended like that.
It was over.
Wow.
Every time, I know it happens every time, but every single time I'm like, what the fuck? And then the sun rose. The raid itself lasted only 2 hours, but apparently we couldn't be bothered to narrate even 10 minutes of it. For me, though, it felt like so much longer. There'd been 20 Imperial nationalists at the Ikeda Inn. The Shinsengumi had killed 7 Ronin and injured 4 more.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
We suck. I learned later that with the help of the Aizu domain and the Kyoto Judiciary Commissioner, they arrested 23 people. Okay, so, you know, we killed some and arrested more. That's nice. The owner of the Ikeda Inn had also been arrested for trying to help the Choshu rebels escape. Shinsengumi had won an incredible victory, fighting against superior numbers in enemy territory, but also, like, we lost a lot. At what cost? Okita took a blow to the chest, but I mean, he already had tuberculosis, so, you know, it was just icing on the cake.
I don't know, I thought this was how he got tuberculosis.
Can you get tuberculosis
No, like,
from somebody hitting you in the chest?
No,
real
like
hard?
the injury made him more susceptible to it. That's what I thought.
I don't...
It was a blow to the chest region,
I mean,
where your lungs are.
I suppose, but also... I guess I'm no doctor, so I don't know how tuberculosis works.
And I am. As a joke, that was dumb, not.
She'll put a band-aid on your shit.
Yeah.
Heisuke has been cut on the forehead, and it bled a lot.
Does he have anemia?
We put a band-aid on it.
I don't even know if that's the right, like... What is that thing I
Anemia
described?
is when you lack iron in your blood.
Does he lack thickness in his blood?
Your blood thick though? Is that thicky blood though? Nagakura, his left hand had a boo-boo. And one of the Shinsengumi soldiers lost his whole life. 2 others got kind of hurt too. But like, it didn't seem that they would survive, so they basically lost their whole lives.
So basically 3 people are dead.
Kyoto military and judiciary commissioners also fought the Choshu Ronin. With their successful resolution of the Battle of the Ikeda Inn, the Shinsengumi had at last made a name for themselves. It looked as though the peace in Kyoto had been protected. Never could I have imagined what the ultimate result of their victory would be.
A pay raise.
Yes, we all got a pay raise. It was pretty dope. And the pay raise was that much higher because 3 people died.